Anybody want to talk local politics?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, well, let's, what do you think about David Madore? Liz?
I think he's, you know, every politician has problems, and every politician does a couple of good things and a couple of bad things, and I think that nobody is right 100% of the time, but also nobody's wrong 100% of the time, so.
What's Madore's percentage?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't keep track that closely, but I think the bottom line is, I was hoping that with the new council, that there would be a lot more civility down there, and sometimes Neil turns on channel 24 or 27, whatever it is, and he watches these council, and he tells me about it when I get back home for the weekend, and I just wish that we could import the same kind of civility that we have in Olympia down here in local politics, because that's one of the things I love about the legislature. We have vigorous debates, but they're always respectful, and at the end of the day, we shake hands and we're friends after a tough vote. And there's no yelling and screaming and personal insults. I mean, Olympia is a beautiful institution that way. And I just wish that the county could be more civil in their dialogue with each
I
other.
think Madore's part of that problem or the solution?
I think they're all part of that problem.
Okay. Brandon, what do you think of our council, David Madore?
I think Paul might have mentioned something earlier about style, how you deliver your message. I think Madore has some phenomenal ideas. I mean, how do you not support private property rights in North Clark County, right? I mean, there are some things that are just amazing ideas. I love going to the park and not paying a fee. You know, there's some great things, and it's not one side's right, one side's wrong, but it almost is like whoever fires the loudest shot is the one that's going to get heard. No offense, the one that's going to get the headlines. And I think that's the problem. It's not so much the ideas, but the marketing behind those ideas, and that's where I find the issue. I mean, there's 5 Republicans, right? I mean, de facto 5 Republicans. It shouldn't be happening this way. It should.
Paul, what do you think about Councilor Madore?
I have great respect for Julie Olson, for Jenny Stewart, and I actually have great respect for David Madore. I don't know that I appreciate the way he's presenting himself and the way things have been transpiring. I have several of the council members who talk to me quite often. He's not one who share great angst at the demeanor and how people are being treated there. So, and it typically falls back to David Madore, to be honest with you. So I think we need to, especially as Republicans, and especially screw the party. We should be no, we should treat, I don't care who you are. You should be considerate and thoughtful. I have great working relationships with the Democrats. I really do. I still have a bill in place on vaping. It's the governor's bill that I'm working really hard on, that I would, and I believe it'll pass this next week, to be honest with you. And the idea that I can't disagree on one issue and go back to them and work and be sincere, that's what this is all about, and I don't see that happening in my county, and I do not know why. But there seems to be one person that continually seems to be the person that people have difficulty working with. So I just hope that sometime David Madore would sit down and say, hey, I've got to become more centrist. I at least have got to be civil in my discourse. And some of the words that I hear, that I play back, that I hear how we treat each other, completely unacceptable. Absolutely.
Let me interrupt just for a second. Paul, you said you hear about angst over how people are being treated. Does that mean other council members or county staff?
Council members themselves.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure that we did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the same camp as the rest. He has good ideas. I don't appreciate the process. I think that, in fact, I had a conversation with him right after I got into Olympia. There were some discussions about, a project down here, and I felt like we could work. We need to work together. I mean, there's things, if we want to accomplish things in Clark County, then you need help in Olympia, then that's when you start talking to us, right? And so I did have a conversation, and I really felt like I opened the door to asking questions and finding out more about it, and I kind of felt like the door was shut because he went off in another direction and didn't say anything about what, you know, if I can find out things up here and you can find out things down there, then you know, we're going to get the truth, right? That's really what we're looking for. And ultimately, at the end of that conversation, I said, you know, David, there's an African proverb that I really like, and it's if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I mean, it was the young boys of, I forget the name of that movie, but that's where I saw it from, and it was a fascinating movie. And
Don't look at me, I'm older than you.
How much? But it is, you have to work together, and what I see here in this particular element is that there's a whole lot of going it alone. And you have to have buy-in. You have to have people owning the issues in order to go anywhere and get to the best answer, the best result for the people, right? Ultimately, that's what we're after, is the best result for Clark County, whatever the problem is. And so that's where we're at.
Great, thank you. Great, well, I appreciate all of you coming in. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for inviting us.
Awesome.
Oh, good to have you. So, thanks very much.